Okay, I'm here with Yhunjure, and we're going to be talking about shame. Okay, so before I start saying anything, go ahead, tell me, Yhunjure, what is it with shame? What's your relationship with shame? How is shame a part of your life?
Well, it's mostly about the shame when you grow when I was growing up in a family. Like it's more like because it's shame. Like it's hard to say. It's about like our very natural instinct to follow the parent, right? That's what the kid is. And when we growing up, we kind of like still stuck on that kind of habit. The way we view our world, the way we value something we did, the way we see ourselves, a lot of things in the life. That's all that stuff. And I especially like in the house where they don't really talk about their feeling, They don't get the emotion. They, like you can see that yes, maybe I'm physical need is good, but my emotional need is basically being neglect. I guess what happened is just I put my effort to do worthwhile stuff in the family, and in order for me to do that way, to be like it's just for me to do that way, it's really hard because I have to tackle with the family too, because they are still in their own way, and I keep practicing this, like the practice of Buddhadasa does help. It's just eventually like I crash. That's what I want to say. I crash,
Okay,
and
so shame is a tool, yeah. Yeah, it's very common for families to use it, for schools to use it, for bosses to use it, for religions to use it, for governments to use it, for societies to use it. Um, yeah, it's a very commonly used tool. And the truth is, shame is effective. Shame works.
yeah,
People shame you and say, no, 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 don't do that. You should feel bad for doing that. It works. And it's a tool that's been used for thousands of years. Not sure it's going to disappear anytime soon. Throughout society, throughout the world. But yes, what we can do is we can come and we can practice the noble Buddha Dhamma. Now, even in Buddhism, and this has been the truth for a long time, is people use shame. Say, oh, you're not sitting right. That's not a good that's not a good posture for breathing well. Or, oh, you're not following the precepts well enough. That's what's keeping you from being happy and satisfied and at peace. Oh, you stepped on a bug. How could you possibly call yourself a Buddhist? You should be ashamed.
but that's not
Uh,
Buddha all about. It's
yeah. This morning, Dhammarato was talking about reflection, and Karwan had also mentioned a sutta related to reflection, Majjhima Nikaya 61, and about how we can use, in that sutta, it talks about how we can use reflection to look at our actions, our physical actions, our verbal actions, and the actions of our mind, the thoughts that we have. Now, some people and some translators will say that, okay, whenever we reflect on our actions, when we reflect on our thoughts, when we reflect on what we say, if we say something that's harmful, if we say something that's harmful to ourselves or harmful to others, if we do something that's harmful to ourselves or to others, or if we think something that's harmful to ourselves or to others, the translation of the sutta will say, yeah, you should feel ashamed for that. Now, another word that I've seen translated there would be something maybe more so like disgust. Okay. And what I would maybe add on there is we could say disgust without judgment. It's quite a bit more appropriate than shame. Shame is all about making you feel bad. You should feel bad for doing that. You should feel bad for even thinking that. You should feel bad for saying that. That's what shame is, or at least that's how it is commonly viewed, commonly discussed, commonly used. But instead, we can be a bit more playful than that. And we can be like, yeah, that wasn't nice. Let's not do that anymore. Or we can kind of have this sort of disgust like, that stinks. Oof. That was not worth doing. That was not worth thinking. That was not worth saying. Glad to see that. This is a practice, yeah?
It's easier to do to stranger than to do to your family.
Well,
It's
that's not incorrect. Yeah, it's very commonly held that it's easier to practice away from family, sure. And oftentimes that's even the advice is, hey, get away from your family. And look, that's really not poor advice, but it does require a bit of nuance, okay? When we talk about going into seclusion, when we talk about getting away from your family, that doesn't necessarily mean abandon your family, leave your family forever, disown your family name, cut off all ties with your family, block your grandma on Facebook. That's not what's being said here, okay? In fact, it looks like right now you are away from your family. Is that
I
true?
understand.
Do you see them? Do you hear them?
Yeah, I just see that.
Right now, are you looking at your family? Are you hearing your family? Are you talking to your family?
No,
Okay,
I
so
just
you are away from your family. You might be in your father's house or your mother's bedroom even, but you can find ways to get away from family even while being in the house your family lives in.
yeah, and then when I goes down and I see them again, I will just like goes back to the dukkha.
Well, you can look down at the floor and say, all right, I'm not going to look at dad right now. Mine's full of dukkha. Time to come back inward. Pay attention to the breath. Bring peace to the mind. Gladden the mind. Think happy and peaceful thoughts. Be satisfied with here and now. Yeah, this is something that's worth doing before we interact with anyone. Let's put it like this. It's worth breathing before you do anything. If you don't breathe first, then you don't have the energy to do it. And so if it's worth breathing before you, say, lift up a cup, it's worth breathing well before you lift up a cup. In fact, it's worth enjoying the breath before you lift up a cup. It's worth enjoying the breath before you say that thought that's in the mind. In fact, it's worth enjoying the breath before you even have that thought. So take a moment, enjoy the breath. Cool down.
I couldn't. I simply like no. Let me think a bit.
Think something happy then. Think something joyful.
You will not deny that I'm currently safe and away from family. I will not deny that. But
So
I
enjoy it.
also
Say,
see
woohoo,
that
we're away from the family. Yay. The family's not
yeah,
here right now.
yeah, but like no, but the thing is, there is a years of this habit to make me feel not safe in the house. It's have been going on for ever since I know.
Yeah,
It's going for
yeah.
years.
We can say that the ghosts of your family are still in the room with you. That's one way to view it. Really, that's just a view. But really what's going on is those ghosts are still in your mind. The conversation you had with mom or dad or whoever in that room that you're sitting in now, maybe those come back up to memory. Okay. And that's one thing to really play with whenever we have memories of our family or we have these feelings of discomfort that come up. Okay. Is to say, oh, we don't need to worry about that right now. Those ghosts aren't real. They're not here now. They're just made up. So let's get comfortable. Let's take it easy. Let's recognize, again, looking around the room, reinforce that in the body, in the mind. Yeah, everything's okay right now. Everything's all right. And for some, it's also helpful to perhaps close the eyes. And they don't have to even be completely closed, but just lower the eyelids a bit. And now you're not even in the room anymore. So just take it easy. You're all
It's
right. You're okay.
the way I can express is when your muscle is cramped.
Yeah, what to
Like
do when the muscle is cramped?
it's hard to relax. That's what I'm. It's hard to relax. It's
Well, we can say this, it takes time. It takes time. It takes a bit of effort, yeah. It takes some energy, it takes some enthusiasm, sure. Yeah. But none of those things are hard, especially if
is
you
there,
enjoy doing them.
is there a better way to put it instead of hard? Like is there no even if like you maybe you're working with someone or maybe I'm talking about like maybe you work with your work co-worker on some project and they are very bad person. They you will you still say hard?
And really don't need to say it's hard or easy. Those are really unnecessary labels because all of those really are associated with is attitude. And they're goal orientated. Okay? It's hard to do when you have to do it in a certain way or whenever you have to accomplish a certain goal. Then it becomes hard. But if you're just having fun, if you're just playing, if you're just saying, hey, let's massage this muscle, this cramp, and we don't know if that massage is going to cure it or not. We're just playing around with the muscle. We're just having fun. We're enjoying playing with that leg, seeing what we can do. Okay. Yeah, maybe it feels nicer, maybe it doesn't. Maybe the cramp's still there. Maybe at least it feels a little bit nicer. Oh, that's nice. Nice to see that. We don't need to be so goal orientated. That's what makes life stressful, is thinking we have to do things a certain way, we have to accomplish certain goals, and we have to do it by a certain deadline. That's what makes it hard. But if we throw out those thoughts, those unwholesome thoughts, then it's not so hard anymore. Then we really can enjoy it. So
But are we
investigate.
no. I guess when I talk mentioning about the coworker thing, I want to refer myself to like I have a dog, right? Like I talk about it. I got a
Yes.
two puppies and I'm training them. That's what I'm doing, and the rest of my family make it really hard for me to train it in a way that they can live with us. They the people in the house they when I ask my little brother like, do you want to eat a house a dog in a house something? They say yeah. And they want in the house rather than they go outside. And but that's what I'm trying to train them to do. And my mom, my dad just make it really hard for me to do it. That's why I'm mentioning about the coworker thing because yeah.
Yeah, again, you're seeing that there's a particular goal you have to accomplish. You're thinking in your mind, I have to train the dog and I have to train it in a certain way.
Yeah.
So stop looking at it like that. Instead, look at it like, oh, we're just playing with the dog. Hey, look at this. When I hold the treat up, the dog sits. Isn't that cool? Nice. Here's the treat, little doggy. Then we're not really training so much. Stop training the dog. Play with it. Have fun with it. If a little training comes along, that's cool. That's neat. But stop seeing it as necessary for the dog to be happy or for you to be happy. Guess what? The dog doesn't care if it's trained. So you don't need to care if it's trained either.
The dog? What again?
The dog
I
does not care if it's trained. It can be happy and okay either way. Stop taking your jobs so seriously. Stop seeing it like a job at all, even. And instead see it as a game, something you're playing around with, something you're experimenting with, something you're just having fun with. If you're not having fun with it, guess what? That means you're not having fun up here. That means you're not having fun in here. That means you're likely not enjoying the breath. So take a moment, pause, take a break, say, okay, don't need to train the dog right now. Let's stop doing that. Everything's all right. Everything's okay. Let's take it easy, folks. Let's take a break. Let's bring the mind and body to peace and satisfaction. We're okay. The dog's okay. Everything's all right. And then when you can put a great big smile on that face, it's a lot easier to train the dog or not train the dog.
yeah, you know what? I'm gonna do my face when I'm around my family for you to see it. Like when I see them, I will just delete it.
Okay, so that's a great practice. You want a new job? Here, Mikey's giving you a job. Smile. That's your new job. Forget about the dog. Forget about all
Even
your
work,
chores. Forget about
yeah,
needing a job or going to college. Your new job is to smile. Okay? It's a way more important job.
yeah. You know what? I see that I got eaten up by everything, and my mind
Yeah.
just tanked down. Like go down.
It's okay. You forgot to take it easy. That's all right. That happens. Even to some of the best practitioners, that happens. It's okay. Here's your friendly reminder. Take it easy. Chill. It's okay. Smile. Be happy.
What if the dog is not trained? You know
Oh
what?
well. Let's
This
forget about
this
that. Hey, look. I'm happy, and the dog's not trained. There's 1,000 dogs on this island that aren't trained, and I'm totally fine with that. I'm okay with that. It's okay. You can be happy too. I mean, there must be.
then are
I
we
mean,
talking like
there are countless dogs in Thailand that are not trained, and we can be happy with that. Okay.
well then do people that training the dog is bad or
Say that. Why are you bringing up bad and good again? You're trying to shame people that train dogs? Why would you do that? Forget about shaming people. Forget about
I
shaming
feel shame.
yourself.
I feel shame because the dog that when I was a kid in the house, the dog in the house, they caged their whole life by my parent, and I feel shame. Like, oh, it would be a shame that this dog that they just get it again gonna end up like the thing that they that happened to the previous dog. It would be a shame for me
Yeah.
to
See,
see it happen.
now you're shaming your parents. Did you just hear what you said? You're putting shame on your parents for the way that they handle dogs.
Yeah, because they handle it really
Stop
bad.
doing that. Yeah, stop. Stop making those judgment calls. You are not God. You are not the Thai government. You are not the police. It is not up to you what is good and what is bad. You don't even know what's good and bad for you.
Yeah. So you
So
say to
throw
have
those thoughts out. Those are really unwholesome thoughts to judge people like that, to shame people like that. Those are hurtful thoughts, hurtful for you and hurtful for them. Not nice, not kind. And I'm not shaming you right now. You can see because I've got a big happy smile. I'm saying, hey, forget about doing that. Because it's stinky to do that. Ugh. It's smelly. It's not worth doing. It's gross.
Mm.
Just like
Yeah,
eating the dog's poop would be gross. It's not worth doing. Don't even think about doing that.
so you just
So
said for me
stop
to have
shaming
fun
them.
with to
Yeah,
just have fun with a dog.
yeah,
And
play with the dog. And then if the training comes along with it, that's cool. Besides, anyways, with animals, a lot of training is we can sort of call passive anyways. Okay.
I don't get how the dog is man's best friend, man. I don't get it. I don't understand.
Well, that happened because uh, men were throwing their food out that they didn't want to finish eating. So the wolves would come by and eat their leftovers, and then the wolves would follow the men around. And then they kind of grew on one another. They started cuddling up with one another, especially on those cold nights. And then, yeah, they became friends. There's kind of a relationship there. And that relationship has certainly evolved, it's changed. We don't know the best way to proceed with that relationship among dogs and humans. We don't have the answers to that. How should a dog live? How should a human live? How should dogs and humans live together? We don't know. I don't know. You don't know. Nobody knows. Stop pretending you know. When you say, I know how things should be, the next thing that comes up is people who don't do it that way are wrong. They're bad.
Yeah. Yep.
So stop thinking that you know.
Is that
That's
narcissist?
also disgusting. It's gross. Don't worry about it being narcissistic or whatever. It's not worth doing. Okay?
I
It's just going to create dukkha for yourself and for others.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, this is why the shame. That's why I talk about. I'm mentioning about the shame. I was really goal oriented, focused on training a dog because the shame from my family on the previous dog, and yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So forget about it. The other thing about shame, and this is true for any kind of unwholesome thoughts, is they take energy. They quite literally burn calories. Okay? When you think, that burns calories. You have to eat food to burn calories. You have to have fat to burn calories. Okay? And of course, you also have to breathe to think. So using a lot of energy to have these unwholesome thoughts, that's not worth it. It's not worth it. Use that energy for something wholesome. Use that energy for something worthwhile. Like we said, if you're going to do something, enjoy it. So instead of shaming, try instead just saying, yeah, that's not worth it. That's kind of gross. Yeah, what's up?
yeah. How do we, as a Buddha Dhamma practitioner, set the right attitude on the stuff in a society, such as maybe you're working, you have goal-oriented, like I mentioned earlier, and you have coworker. Yes, we're mentioning that we just have fun, right? We have fun, but we
Forget
are not
about
ignoring
society.
the data.
Forget about society is a mess, and it's been a mess, and it will be a mess. It's not up to you to fix it. That's just
No, I
another
just don't
goal. As what do we do
have
about society? It's another goal that's looking for another goal, another challenge. That's looking for something hard to do.
in order. It is okay to not having goals.
Let's put
I
it
think
this way. If we're going to have goals, let's have wholesome goals. Here's some wholesome goals for you. Smile more. Take it easy.
yeah.
Enjoy the breath. Have wholesome thoughts. Get comfortable. Be at peace. Those are all things that you can do right now. They're not far off into the future. You don't need someone else to do them for you, and they're not difficult.
I scold my little brother when he handled the dog wrong.
Okay?
Because I have a goal in my mind, and then he not doing the way I want, so he's wrong, and then it somehow it justify me to scold him. That's 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 kind of funny, honest. Yeah, I see.
Yeah, we don't need to take it so seriously. Even when they mishandle the dog and this sort of thing, it's okay to say something. It's okay to say like, "Hey, what are you doing that for?" Okay? In fact, sometimes that's a bit better than scolding. Is just pointing it out. "Hey, do you see what you're doing?
Mm.
Look at what you're doing. Do you see that? Do you see how the dog's reacting?" Instead of telling people how to look, how to think, how to perceive things, just tell them to pay attention. If you do want to talk to your little brother, because I'm sure it is nice for the bigger brother to intervene sometimes, to show a bit of guidance. But you don't need to tell your brother what to think, but just more so, hey brother, pay attention.
ใส่ใจใส่ใจ
Yeah.
It's literally just
Yeah.
mean giving your heart out to them.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And guess what? It's a lot better to give a cool heart than a heart that's on fire. So Jai Yin Yin, cool your heart.
Yeah,
It's also a lot
I can.
easier to give a kind heart than a heart that's mean-spirited or wanting to shame or wanting to scold. So have a kind heart, a water heart, Nam Jai. Okay.
I feel shame. Yeah, I feel shame now for what I did.
Yeah, so stop
Yeah.
feeling ashamed and instead just say, yeah, that's not worth doing.
Have
Again,
to.
shame carries that judgment element of that was bad. That wasn't right. You need to be punished for that. Instead of seeing it as like, this deserves punishment, say, this deserves throwing out. This deserves not doing anymore. Because we can't change the past. We can't change that we did it. But we can, upon reflection, see, yeah, that wasn't worth doing. Let's not do it. That was harmful. Let's not do it.
I have to give myself compassion. That yeah,
Yeah, be
I
kind
did
to yourself. Yeah.
doing it. Gonna throw it out now. Not doing it.
Yeah. You're not perfect. That's okay. No need to feel ashamed for being imperfect, for doing something not very nice. It's okay. Not a big deal. In fact, be glad that you saw that you did that. Be glad that you had that time to reflect upon that. And be happy that you can change. You can change right now. You can be different right now. You can be at peace right now. You can smile right now. You can enjoy the breath right now. Cool off. Take it easy.
Yeah, I also want to mention like some other events that happened to me, such like yeah, like I kind of like let me think a little bit. I don't know if it's a shame or what. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, because I try to do stuff that is worthwhile, such as doing a chores, helping around the house, helping them in their business, and I guess I'm not having a fun because I do it because I think it's worthwhile and
Yeah, so
and
that's a great point to be making, is that we're not talking about is doing the chores or not worthwhile. Okay. We have to bring it back a step. Okay. We say, is doing the chores with joy worthwhile or not? Okay. And really, we can even bring it back before that. Is being filled with joy worthwhile or not right now? Is enjoying the breath worthwhile right now or not? Is having wholesome thoughts worthwhile right now or not? Okay. Let's
yes,
put it this
that's
way. Doing the chores and not paying attention, that's not worthwhile, is it?
yeah,
Yeah. Because then uh, you take out the trash, and while you're taking out the trash, you fall, and the trash uh, gets out all over the road, and you're covered in it. Now you've made a mess because you weren't paying attention. Now, that's not really that big of a deal, But you can see how not paying attention while doing the chores, that can be even unsafe, right? Maybe we mop the floor and we get the floor wet and we forget to tell mom, hey, mom, be careful. The floor is wet right there. And then she slips and she breaks her back. Oh, no, now mom's in the hospital. Why? Because we weren't paying attention. We weren't here. We weren't here in the here now.
We're not having a joy.
Yeah, because we're not filled with joy. When we're sad, when we're sulking, when we're ashamed, when we have these unwholesome thoughts, when we're not at peace, when we feel uncomfortable, when we feel like there's this weight on our shoulders, and we're walking around like this, we're not paying attention.
So before we
We're
doing
not
something,
doing it well.
the
Yeah.
step back is are
Again,
we joy, right? Are we feeling
yeah.
feel up?
Again, if you're going to do something, do it well. And what does it
But
mean
if
to do it well? What does it mean to do it well? It means to do it with a smile. Do it with while enjoying the breath. Do it with wholesome thoughts. Do it with a mind that's at peace. Do it with that energy, that enthusiasm. Otherwise, forget about it. Don't do it.
yeah.
Do it well or forget about it. I mean, what's the point in doing it in a crappy way, in a way that's perhaps even unsafe? There's no point in that. That's not worthwhile. Again, that's kind of stinky. It's kind of gross. It's nothing to feel ashamed about, but it's just don't do that.
Yeah. I think what you think is exactly what I'm gonna talk about. I guess one of the concern I have is like, like I'm doing stuff is worthwhile, and then problem happens, and the problem happened, and my mom just scold me and yell at me and stuff like that. It make me feel like, oh man, everything like this not worthwhile anymore. I'm not gonna do anything about it. I feel angry. I feel angry and a lot of stuff. And then I feel neglect, like by my own emotion. Like my own emotion and being neglected by my parents. It's not like right now
Yeah.
I'm adult, but it's have been happening all the time ever since I was growing up, and I'm not. It's already in
Yeah,
the
it's not.
past, but
It's
I gotta have to say that.
yeah. Let's be clear
Yeah.
about something. It's not worth being around someone who's yelling at you. Let's put it like that. If someone's yelling at you, get out of the room. Say, hey, mom, I got to use the restroom. Let's talk about this later. That really is the point to then get out in some sort of way. You don't have to storm out of the house. You don't have to say, all right, mom, I'm never going to talk to you again. That's too extreme. But you can at least say, hey, let's talk about this later. I need to cool off. And it's okay, when we practice the Buddha Dhamma, it's okay to put those little nuggets of honesty in there. Like, hey, I need some time to cool off. Just letting you know, I'm going to go cool off for a bit. Okay. We don't have to tell them, oh, hey, I'm going to go practice the 16 steps of Anapanasati and fulfill the Eightfold Noble Path. Just give me a moment, please.
Yeah.
If someone does want to do that, though, that might be humorous in some situations. Okay.
Or
But
ตัว
it's
ไม่ใจ
okay to be honest with your mom and say, hey, I mean, that kind of communication is worthwhile. Like, hey, I'm going to cool off. Let's talk about this later. Okay. I understand you're upset. I'm happy to talk with you about this at another time. And maybe at that other time, your mom will have kind of forgotten about it. And maybe she will have cooled off too.
Yeah. If
Don't be afraid of your mom. That only makes it worse. Stop
this
being
might
afraid of your parents. Hmm?
I say long this gonna take a time. This gonna take times.
Well,
Take
it's
more
going to
time.
take repetition. It's going to take you telling yourself over and over again, hey, don't need to be scared of mom. Don't need to be afraid of dad. Let's actually be happy around them, right? And that's why part of the reason that advice was given earlier in the call, smile when you see them. Be happy to see them.
If
In fact, if the first thing that happens when you see your mom is you say, oh, hey, mom, great to see you. She may not even yell at you in that instance. Or her tone might change a bit. Play with it. Play with being happy around your parents. Don't wait for them to be the happy ones. Don't wait for them to be the ones at peace. You bring that peace by practicing the Buddha Dhamma. You bring that peace in yourself. Again, we say peace, happiness, enthusiasm, enjoyment, comfort, this before anything else. Dukkha nirodha before anything else. Okay? Throw out that dukkha before you do that next thing, whatever it is, even if it is just as simple as standing up out of your chair. Check to see, is there any dukkha in the mind? Are we at peace? Are we happy? Are we okay? All right, now we can stand up.
Yeah, dukkha nirodha before anything else. I kind of forget that and they're like doing stuff because it's just worthwhile, but I'm not having a good
Yeah,
joy. And
yeah.
yeah, I feel better. I feel better now.
Okay, that's great. Glad to hear that. Splendid.
Yeah, I just look it up. Saying cool off in Thailand is say ใจเย็น so
Yes.
cool off.
Yeah. Yes.
I never looked it up before. I just made my own assumption, so kind of
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah. One last thing about family. It's not so easy to get away from family completely. Because guess what? You and me, we're also family.
Thank you.
All right. So take it easy. Take care. Don't worry. Be happy. Is there anything else? Any other questions?
Yeah. I don't think it's very joyful to surrounding yourself by angry people, right? Like,
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
and
But again, we can say it like this: a really happy person, a person who's really at peace, it's not so easy for the angry people to even approach them. Because when an angry person sort of sees in the distance that, oh, hey, there's a happy, peaceful person over there, oftentimes their demeanor too, their behavior, their way of being will also change. It's kind of like a wife and a husband are fighting at the dinner table, okay? And then the waiter comes up and says, hey, can I get you any refills? Can I get you anything? And then the husband looks at the waiter and goes, no, we're fine, with a smile. And he goes back to fighting.
yeah, like making a family, there's gonna be a lot of argument. Maybe
Yeah,
that's why
families
Buddha
argue.
do not have it.
Yeah, yeah. That's why it's actually really worthwhile for families to practice Buddha Dhamma. Guess where arguments also happen? Arguments happen at Watts. They happen at temples. Bhikkhus, monks, they argue. Surprise, surprise. It happens. They still act a bit like a dysfunctional family.
They do act like that. They are. Am I judging them if they are dysfunctional? Okay. Yeah. Um. Yeah.
You, you, you don't have to really even worry about them. You just look at yourself, yeah, and you say, okay, hey, whatever this is that's happening right now, I'm not judging the people here, but I'm going to get away from this. There's sort of maybe
Yeah.
these feelings of discomfort. There's let's get into some seclusion.
Dukkha comfort.
Don't be worrying about looking at what other people are doing or what they're thinking or how they are. None of that. That again, that's not worth doing.
Yeah, that's a lot of good talk.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you, Michael. I think
Yeah,
Ivan
of
has
course.
something to say.
Okay.
I have something quick to say, and Mikey, let me know what you think, because I could be biased. Oh yeah. By the way, I love everything that I heard. Thank you so much, Mikey, and Ship too. Well, one thing that I think Ship should do more is really get away from his family. I mean, like, um, kind of like literally away from the house. Like, I'm not saying like he needs to abandon. Like we talk about that, but I'm saying like he really needs to like has, I guess, if I could speak in a conventional way, basically some structure. Like structure in a sense like he get away from his family as often as he can, and to practice again the joy, as Mikey said, because one thing that sheep do often is he get triggered very easily. And I'm not saying that in a sense of shaming. I'm just saying this has to be a pattern.
Okay. So again, as often as he can, that's a rule. Okay.
Yep.
That's a goal. Okay. Again, it's much easier to say, hey, when it's too hot, get out, get away from the fire. Okay. Bring the practice
Mm.
into the here and now. Okay. Because,
Actually, I
if someone, we will take it where you're saying for a moment, Ivan, if someone does want to make that sort of decision of like, hey, I'm going to go live somewhere else away from my family. That's a decision that each person needs to make for themselves. And it is worth reflecting on that, investigating that. Yeah. Um, Talking with friends, especially noble friends about that can be worthwhile. Yeah. But the truth is, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, Yhunjure might make for a terrible monk.
Oh, I'm not
Might
saying
be an
being a monk.
absolutely awful monk. Well, I mean, that's just an example. Okay. Whatever it is, that might even be worse. Because like I had kind of hinted at, there's not really such a thing as totally getting away from family for most people. Okay. Yeah, for example, people will talk about, oh, I have my work family. Okay. So even Mikey here, I don't have anybody that's a close relative, but boy, oh boy, do I have a lot of family. Dhammarato is practically like my uncle. His wife Tam is like my aunt. Okay. The people I work with are like my brothers and sisters. Okay. You guys here are like family. Okay. And I mean, we
oh,
we are technically blood related. Okay. We're not that distant of cousins, really. Okay. So one thing that will happen is people will get away from their family and then kind of find their family again in new people, and then start to have the same arguments, the same disagreements, the same dukkha. Okay.
what what is your meaning of family? I sorry, maybe because for me, when we say family, we're talking about people you growing up with, right? Like your mom and
Sure.
dad, your sibling.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
when you're talking about family in that sense, isn't that more of like brother, sister? I don't know. I'm not sure here.
Okay.
What
Well,
what is
how do they say it in Thai? To me, you are Nong Yhunjure, Nong Yhunjure, little brother. How do they
yeah.
say in Thai when you address older people? P. To you, I'm P Mikey.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
older brother Mikey. So in Thai, for people that are watching this, when you address people, you address them as older brother, older sister, or younger brother, younger sister. So Thailand already recognizes, hey, we're all brothers and sisters.
Or aunt or uncle.
Yeah, or
Lung,
aunt or uncle, or
lung, pa.
father or mother. Yeah, even with the monks, they'll say long po, long po, long
Long.
po, like grandpa.
Oh, หลวงพ่อ
Yeah,
yeah.
sorry. Yeah, my Thai is not that great. Luang po, luang po. Yeah, grandpa. They'll say that for
Yeah.
someone who's been a monk, I think, for like 40 years or something. Say luang po, prachan. Okay. They say grandpa monk.
Mm.
Bhikkhu Buddhadasa would have been luang po, prachan Buddhadasa. Okay. He's all of our grandfather. He's our grandfather by the Thai mentality. So if you think you can get away from family, I would be very careful with that thought, because you will find family again and again. And you'll find that, wow, there's dysfunctional family members all over the globe, all over the world. You think you're going to get away from dysfunctional family just by running away from your mom and dad? It ain't going to happen.
You're gonna get your new family out somewhere else.
Yeah. You're just going to get in a fight with a different family.
Okay. Yeah. That's
Now, again, I'm not saying, again, I do want to be clear. I'm not saying don't live somewhere else. I'm not saying don't move away from your family in some way, shape, or form. I'm not saying don't do that. I'm just saying look at it carefully, investigate that, reflect upon that. Okay? And only you can make that decision for yourself. And no one here is going to force you to do it. We might encourage you, we might tell you, hey, yeah, this might be a good idea, these sort of things. But at the end of the day, it's up to you.
Mikey, can I say something about the cousins?
Yeah.
I was just searching. We don't know for 100% sure, of course, but it is around everybody is the 100th of cousins of each other. For example, me and you are the probably like the 100th cousin of me. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. We're pretty closely related. Even though there's 8 billion of us, we're not that far off from one another.
Yeah. So we are cousins, sheep.
yeah. Just a few hundred generation, maybe a few thousand.
So yeah, when when the dysfunctional members are driving you crazy, when they're yelling at you, scolding at you, you can come hang out with your crazy older brother Mikey instead. Because guess what, sheep? I'm not perfect either. I'm not completely functional. I do weird things. I'm crazy. There's still dukkha that comes into the mind. That it's yeah. Maybe I smile a bit more, but no one's perfect. But what can you do? You can play with that game of getting into seclusion, getting yourself comfortable. Again, have that reminder, hey, everything's okay right now. Everything's all right. Look at the body, look at the room you're in. See that you're safe. Recognize that. Remind yourself of that. Really remind yourself of that safety. That's really important. Don't let yourself feel like you're in danger. You're not in any real danger. At least not right now at this moment. Okay. When you are in danger, get away from it. Okay. That's the teaching. Okay. Anything else? Anybody else want to say something? Any questions?
Yeah. No,
Yeah, what's up?
thank you. I think I think I want to post this. Yeah.
Okay. Where's the
This
smile?
topic. Yeah. I guess we.
Yeah, that smile needs a
Yeah.
little bit of practice. Let's get a big smile. Woo! Yeah, things are okay. Things are okay.
I feel with joy. Yeah.
Okay, good. Splendid. Happy to hear that. Keep practicing.
There is wholesome goals.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mikey.
Have those
Thank
easygoing
you.
goals. Yeah. No worries. All right, guys. Take it easy.
Take
Yeah.
care, buddy.
Yeah, we're getting out of here.
See
Bye bye.
you.